Good evening and welcome back, Poetry Lovers. It is IZM Wise, and here I am with another recording just for you. Today we have Mr. Dustin Pickering, editor of Transcendent Zero Press, holding his newest tome, Frenetic No Contest. And the cover art is actually done by Mr. Pickering. It is a book of ekphrastic poetry. Dustin will proceed to explain what ekphrastic poetry is, the origin of the title, and how he and Alien Buddha Press collaborated together. Take it away, Dustin!
An ekphrastic poem, in essence, is a poem that takes a work of art and creates your own, uses your subjective feelings and thoughts on the art into a piece of your own, a poem of your own that you compose to express how this work of art creates a reaction in you, what it's effectively saying to you. And it's a style that's been around, and there's a lot of this going around in Houston right now, this ekphrastic style. And so I know plenty of people that there's even galleries they have where you can do the ekphrastic, and there's contests and every imaginable thing concerning ekphrastic poetry. You're so ekphrastic it makes me sick. But this great work of art that occurred in 2 days, actually, because I wanted to challenge myself to strain my poetic talents to a degree that I hadn't done before, and I felt like if I just got images, ekphrastic, an image from somebody, and I was to write such and such a number of poems in a specific form, then I would be challenging my boundaries as a poet and choosing forms and trying to write on a specific subject matter. So I had a artist named Red Fox, who is the one of the co-operators of Alien Buddha Press, and he generously allowed me to use 5 of his images, 3 of which are photographs, 2 are paintings, to write on, which I did 5 different poems on each image, and all 5 of these series employ the same styles of poems. There's 5 particular poems for each image, and they're all in the same style per series. And what I did is there are triplets, a pantuum, quatrains, an alexandrine, and finally a haiku at the very end. And this little chapbook of surrealism, nothingism, the bizarre and imaginary, all unite to form an artistic paradox and unique aesthetic, as it says here on the back of the book.
As his tone changed.
Basically, I just want people to check this out. This artwork is somewhat of a rip-off, I want to say, because there's old Jim Morrison pictures where he has the eye in the hand. It's kind of a symbol of a mystic symbol. And I've had a friend who was doing a lot of paintings using eye and hand kind of to symbolize the imagination or the third eye, and the sensual meets the earth meets the sacred kind of thing. And so I painted that, and that was in 1999 with pastels. And I thought it would be a lovely painting to put on the front of this, because essentially what I want to capture is the boundary between reality and the mental, and also the sacred and the ephemeral, and in general express as much as possible with as little content as far as the number of words or the expressions, to use as little language as possible to say as many deep things I can say. And that's part of how I strain my gift, is trying to cut down what you would call basically a word economy, and trying to keep it down to a minimum as far as I don't want a lot of excess words and language that don't really belong. They're just there for decoration, and it doesn't strike me as a very thoughtful procedure in writing poetry. You want it to say exactly what it needs to say and not distract too much. You can only say so much before the reader kind of just says, well, this is just, pretty words, just purple prose or whatever. And so that was my aim. And this was to try something new and try it in a way I had never tried before. And this was, like I said, this book was put together in 2 days. I wrote, all the poems for it, and I sent them to the Red Fox, the co-operator of Alien Buddha, and he said, well, we'll take it as a book. They're also going to publish a book of mine in the near future called The Alderman, and Spurious Conversations with Jim Morrison, which I don't know when they're planning that, but it's going to be probably the next few months after their anthology's done. And so keep a lookout for that. And
is that poetry as well?
Yes, it is. And it goes back to 2013. It's not recent. It's old, but I thought the poetry was valid. It's kind of a loose, free verse. I mean, if you read some of Morrison's own poetry, I mean, when I say his poetry, not his major work, which was The Lords and the Other Creatures.
That's right.
But the other two books that were compiled after his death,
Wilderness and The American Night.
American Night. Those two, I think I learned a lot about how to play with form and verse, and use similar, he harps on similar concepts repeatedly in all his work, especially stuff like ancient Egypt or, in general civilization. I mean, he plays with the idea of civilization quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And I sort of kind of took some of those ideas that he presents in his work and ran with them. And just kind of decided that I was going to make it out to be a form of, a communication between me and him, discussing the ideas that he poses himself. What people don't know is that The Lords and the Other Creatures is actually a very profound and thought-provoking book.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think most people who read it would really consider it something that you could study in a graduate level course. I mean, it really has a lot of base to it.
Yeah, it has a ton to offer. It's funny you say that because I've been influenced by him since I can remember. In fact, the third notebook I wrote, or book rather, was it was actually called Channeling Morrison, and I feel like I sort of sort of spiritually communicate with him and his style, but especially a lot of my early work was influenced by a lot of his loose pieces. Some of them were untitled, and you could find a lot of them in Wilderness and The American Night as well. And yeah, besides civilization, he was very, very philosophical. At the age of 16, instead of a car, he wanted the complete works of Nietzsche, and he's been a very big influence to the both of us.
His father was the admiral on the ship that was attacked in the Gulf of Tonkin incident.
That's right.
And then he was known to be very abusive, psychologically especially, to Jim. And Jim transferred that. He went on to become the singer he was, and his own father said, just give it up, it's trash. Even when he was doing well, he said,
that's right,
quit doing it, you're not any good. And Jim just, he probably did care at heart what his family thought of him, but he didn't take it so bad that he stopped, Eventually his father did come back and say, man, I really owe you an apology for that. You're very good at what you do. You're doing a great job. Keep doing it. I mean, what else can anybody want, Get the blessing of your family who trust you,
Yeah, I mean, some people, even him, I mean, they're lucky if they even get that. Many artists, they don't really receive that credit. It's just from the support team of their fans and perhaps their own band members or record producing team.
I mean, how many musicians, poets, and artists are out there that continue to do what they do, and they get no recognition. They don't win awards. They don't get noticed by the public. Nothing comes to them. They die unknown. And a lot of times that's the average artist. That's
right.
Exactly what happens. And everyone that paints or writes, that you want to be recognized as a person of talent. And to do that, you want nice awards, or you want, just natural to a human being. You want that satisfaction of someone saying, I grant you honor because I enjoy what you do. And that's a tough thing to find. There's so many people doing so much, and it's just very difficult to get out of the wilderness, as Jim has in his book. The wilderness, which is, I think, a symbol of just in general existence.
Of course.
Just living in amongst so much. And not being able to really get where you want to go or attain the status you want. I don't know many artists that do this stuff to be rich. I really don't.
Right, no. Well, neither do I. It's usually it's kind of like theology. It's like a calling. And, even if you're not in it for, recognition or awards or fame or financial reasons or anything like that, it's a calling. Those are all bonuses to me.
Well, I think most people who do these kinds of things, most of them are going to do it whether they get anything for it or not.
Right.
But I think somehow, when it comes down to it, you do want to be recognized. At least have a fan base that just loves your work.
At least get the word. That's what I care about the most, is getting the words out there. I at least want people to see it. Whether or not I receive a positive reception, that's up to them. I at least want to have my words out there.
It's the process, mostly, I think, of creating something and having seen it into fruition. I recently did, and speaking of the clergy and the arts, I recently did an interview with Kirti Sengupta of India, as a best-selling author in India, for Huffington Post. And I said that in that interview that you ever notice how so many artists are at war with the clergy? And I said there must be a brotherhood.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, it was I was being a little sarcastic, being a little bit of a joke. But basically I was saying, we're all trying to achieve the same balance and unity and get in touch with the divine or whatever else it could be that is guiding this process of life, and
definitely
understand it. And artists take creation as sacred, and the people of the faith, they have their sacred values, and we all kind of feel like that life deserves a celebration of the lizard.
I see what you did there.
A pun from a poet.
A pun from a poet. Very clever.
Art from Red Fox, please punch us now.
That's right. I was gonna say Red Fox, not the comedian, the artist.
Well, his name is actually spelled Fox, F-O-C-K-S.
Ja. Before we conclude this interview, would you like to read us the 2 or 3 pieces that speak to you the most?
I want to read some of the Alexandrines because...
and thank you very much for watching. No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to find ones that are really, that say... Okay, let's read this one. This is from Christ's Sake. This is the 4th image.
Show us the picture.
This is a weird image. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. In his art, honestly, I had similar capacities when I was just finishing high school. I was doing similar things as he is. A lot of the art I used to create, and I still have a lot of it, it's stuff I'm seeing now in a lot of the new artists coming out. I don't know if it's something that was kind of zeitgeist, kind of played a part, or maybe it's an old form that's been resuscitated or something. I don't really know, but I know I was doing it before I saw anyone else doing it. Anyway, this poem is the 4th, and it's the Alexandrine from this section.
Okay.
Your eyes are open birds, fleeing the fearsome word, but as I look within, your smile is mine again. Immortal as her fate, you coyly imitate Da Vinci's perfect style, the Mona Lisa smile. However, your turnings, one instant or being, cause me to think you hide deeper secrets in stride that you will not confide. No, I am faithless pride, studying, becoming. Can I ask for the ring? Or should I kiss it now, like subdued Chairman Mao? Do you believe in ghosts? Are you afraid of hosts? Why then do you wafer my intelligence stirred by the blood of martyrs whose art is high-chambered? A little bit of poetic license at the end there.
Yeah, I noticed
I played with, trying to do...
You better renew that.
Yeah, I have to get it renewed. It's $450. My poetic license.
That poetic license.
Yeah, the government.
Don't cut the funding.
They cut the funding, then they make you pay, and they don't, whatever. Government. Okay, here's the fourth one also from the section, a couple of sections back from Be Alive. This is a beautiful photo from Red Fox.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I really like that one. It's of a little shack, I think, with the sun, and it's real nice. And so I wrote this poem about this photo. Star of hope, fertile ounce, does it please to announce dying embers of sun flowing into the run? I cannot control time, yet its mission is mine, and I am strictly free in blind autonomy. Do your fingers cross feared, the melody unheard, in the early hour of our time again blurred? Like a soft fruit courage is the blood of scourge. I don't hear dawn crying, loud face petrifying. This shack is our ego, emancipated so no man can cross rivers where boundaries shiver and grow thin as blood must, when we come to distrust the falling star passing through the hills amassing.
Very nice, sir.
And there's one one more I'd like to read that's a really kind of I'm trying to find it. Okay, this was the one that I wrote, triplets, from the same exact thing.
Oh, it is from the same
and this is a very short poem. And I just like the way I play with transgressive notions in this one. The faggot shack is open and the town is full of nasty. The worms eat our stars again. The sun closes its bar tab and makes an exit on the south side. Usually it leaves with a random quip. However, tonight everyone is bankrupt after the war was won. Who won it for us? I don't own a gun.
Ooh.
Suck it.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Dustin, for taking time out of your evening to talk about Frenetic No Contest. You can purchase that at Amazon, or you can go to Dustin's event at Avant Garden, which is going to be on August 19th.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Don't miss it, people. Poetry lives!